uh, where we offer biblical strategies for effective teaching. I am your host, Ronette Branham, and we have a special guest host, Valerie Johnson from Teaneck School District. How are you, Valerie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited again. I say that all the time, but I'm so excited about having guest hosts and somebody with a different perspective coming in. And this is just great. So, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Valerie Johnson. I do teach in Teaneck. I'm actually now out of the classroom. I have the position of Dean of Students at the Thomas Jefferson Middle School, where we are an interesting middle school. We have grades 5 through 8. Um,
Oh,
what
okay.
else? I was in the classroom for 25 years, and I've been a dean. This is my fourth year as dean. And as you know, in education, every year is different, no matter what your position is. But one of the reasons that I appreciate the Teaneck Public School District, I moved here before I started working here because it was a good school district, and it's where I wanted my kids to go to school.
Oh, okay.
And then 8 months later, I found myself as a member of the staff.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah, there are ups and downs about living in the same place you teach, but they're more good than bad for sure. So
Oh,
I
but
raised
that's
both of my sons here. Both of my sons went through Teaneck Public Schools. They got into the colleges they wanted to get into, so it was a good place to raise them.
oh, that's good. I never thought about going north. That I never thought about going north. South a little bit, not too far south, but I never thought about. I always, when I think of North Jersey, I think of New York, like busy like
Mhm.
that. So I never thought
Oh
of
no,
going
we're
north.
not like that.
Yeah.
We're not busy like that. We're busier than we were. I grew up in Englewood, which is the next town over. It's
Okay.
busier than it used to be, but it's not anything like New York or Jersey City or Bayonne or one of those really more urban type cities. We're
Oh,
definitely still suburban.
okay. I need to ride through there.
Oh yeah, come on.
I haven't because I think that's in my head. I think
Come
North
right on and
Jersey.
hang out.
Okay, I will. I will. I appreciate that.
Good.
So you said you're a dean, right?
Yes.
And and you say you teach. So is the dean on the same bargaining level as teachers?
Yes, the actual title is teacher dean. Um,
Oh, okay.
and that's how they figure out how not to have to pay us anymore. Is that's that's how that goes. And it's unusual to have a dean in a middle school.
Oh,
Not many do. We had one years and years and years ago, and when that person left, the position left. Well, we got a new superintendent a few years ago, and I asked for a meeting with him, and I said I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get out of the classroom. And I said, I was real honest. I said, either find something for me to do, or I'm going to take what I do someplace else. And
oh,
at that point, I had enough years that I could retire and, do something different. Well,
right.
apparently did his due diligence and found out exactly how valuable I am to this district. So he created the position for me.
Oh, so well, you went straight to the superintendent. That's cool.
Yes, I did.
That's cool. But okay, so I was thinking because we don't have deans, we have vice principals. I'm in Trenton, so we
Hmm.
don't have that. And if they do, I'm not aware of it.
No, they a lot of most places don't. They're usually in high schools and of course colleges. We have
Uh,
two vice principals as well. So
oh,
we have
you
a
do.
principal, two vice principals, and the dean.
So you're in between the counselor and the vice principal type thing.
Precisely. That is exactly right. Some of my work is administrative and disciplinary, like I deal with truancy and people checking whether or not their registrations are valid, if we think they really are living someplace else. And I do a lot of conflict resolution and peer mediation, and I work with a couple of student leadership clubs.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I understand what a dean is because do some school I'm not one of my grandkids schools they have a dean. I don't know if it's a high school in Franklin Township, I'm not sure. um
Probably the high school. It's pretty unusual for it
for
to be in the
somebody
middle
a
school.
lower grade, okay.
Yeah.
And I do know that they go to the dean like when they're in trouble. So before we get started, no, I think I'll say, like, how do we get to from a teacher to a dean? So a teacher refers a student. How does that work?
Okay, well, I get referrals from everybody in the building, teachers, administrators, if the cafeteria staff thinks somebody needs some help. The way I describe my position is I'm there to support the students and the staff. People think of a dean like when you get in trouble, that's where you go.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm.
I tell my students that I'm where you go when you don't want to get in trouble, when you want to
Oh,
stay out of trouble, that I would rather help you on the front end than have to clean it up on the back end.
that's
So
what I'm talking. Yeah,
that's where it's a
before.
combination of counseling as well as administrative. And I came to education with 10 years of social work.
Oh,
And
that's
I
cool.
I was
Right.
I was a crisis intervention counselor, my first real job. And basically that's what being a dean is. It's crisis intervention. If you can preemptive do the work, that's great. But if a child is in the middle, two kids are having a conflict, the first thing is, where did it happen? If it happened in the cafeteria, we have teachers on duty during cafeteria. Speak to the teachers that are there. If it happens to the classroom, I need teachers to be empowered and empower their students and handle it themselves. A lot of teachers think, oh, I got a D now. But you're abdicating your authority that way. And the
I
kids
know.
will skip you altogether and come straight to me. And that's not how it should be. So if you have done the work yourself with a student or more than one student and then need some assistance, then you come to me.
Oh, you know what? We have done a few podcasts so far, right? So we did one on discipline. Like, what's the reason to discipline in the classroom? Why are you disciplining? And how are you disciplined? Then we did one about organization. And
Mm-hmm.
and in between those two, we talked about setting that foundation, setting the rules ahead, and then connecting with. We have so connecting with the students.
That
All
would give
of
me so
that,
much less to do.
yes, and it comes, and then you won't have to send your students. I found out before I say what we the scriptures or anything. I found out a lot of times we send students out of the classroom because we're frustrated and we don't want to. I'm saying we don't want to. We don't. We perceive that we don't have the time to sit there with the student. But if we work on connecting prior to building that relationship, then um, you won't have to feel like I'm sitting. You gotta go. It's time
Right.
for you to leave. That's my opinion.
And I
So
agree with you 1,000%. You have that connection. They'll listen to you when you talk, and they know that you're listening to them when they talk.
right,
One of
like
the things I do, I call it the dean stroll. I just walk through the halls, I pop into classrooms because I don't want kids to look at me and think, uh-oh, here comes Dean Johnson. I don't want to be the uh-oh person.
I
I'm
know,
also the person that I hug you when you're crying. I will, take you to the nurse if you got a boo-boo. I don't want to be thought of as the bad guy.
I
So
know.
on my strolls, I connect with the kids because I supervise all the lunch periods. I get to see every kid every day. And I go to the tables and I sit down and chop it up with the kids because if they're really in trouble, I need them to be comfortable enough to come to me and tell me about it. Not like, well, I don't want to say, I don't want to, you know,
Right,
that
right.
that's not the way I run my office. And I'm never in my office. I'm out where the kids are.
Oh, all right. So I remember I had a principal, a vice principal at school I worked at. She Students respected her. If she said something, they were in line. They followed her, but she would be outside playing double dutch with them.
Oh yeah.
She was
I go
that.
out for recess when the weather's nice. I sure do go outside.
Right. She was that. And they had fun and they were laughing. Look at Miss Smith, her name was. They were just excited about that. But they
Mm-hmm.
knew if she needed to step in for something, they were gonna get in line.
Yep.
So I have a couple scriptures before we go any further. Um uh I have Romans 12, 4 through 6, and it's talking about um the different parts of the body. And so, like we have deans, we have principals, we have counselors, we have sit paras, we have ESL teachers, we have every kind of person in the school, right? We have custodians. So everybody has a different part to play. And
That's right.
so, but it's one school. You don't say I
Right.
go to Miss Johnson's school. You may if somebody knows Miss Johnson, right? You don't say I go to this is Miss Branham's school. We don't say that.
Right.
We say I go to Harrison school. I go to whatever, Lincoln school,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the school is. So, but it's one body. And to make that body function, everybody has to do their part. So if I'm sending my students to you for discipline, that means that it's like me cutting off a part of my own body at the same time using you. Just say I'm a hand or something. I'm using you as a hand when you are an arm. We're not
Mm-hmm.
doing that. So Romans, it says, for as in one body we have many members, and the members do not all have the same function, like I just said. So we, through many, are one body in Christ. So you could relate it to the church, the body of Christ. You could relate it to an actual church building, how it's run, a school. Having gifts that differ according to the grace given to us. Let us use them, if prophecy, in proportion to our faith. So then it goes on to name the different gifts. So, like I said, if I'm a teacher has many roles. A dean has many roles. So it's like, I don't know how to describe that. I have my own body, but at the same time, I'm part of another body. So that's the best I can say. So,
In the old King James, where it would say, if the whole body were an ear, where would the smelling be? I've
uh-huh.
always thought about that. Have you ever tried to smell anything with your ear?
No.
No. Have you tried to hear anything with your nose? No. It doesn't
Right.
work.
But that's true. And it has to be made plain for us like that.
Yes.
Because we think, okay, she's a dean. In my head, a dean is for counseling and discipline. No, then what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, that is a part of it, but that's not
Right.
the whole position, how it works.
Yep.
So
The other thing I do is though I go into the classrooms and I teach lessons. I do social emotional learning. So
see,
it empowers the kids and gives them tools. This is how you do a peer mediation. This is how you do conflict resolution. Handle it before you even have to go to the teacher.
right. And it works when you come into the classroom and do something like that, because all day we are having teachable moments all day. But when you take that time out and say this time is scheduled for SEL, social emotional learning, and then Dean Johnson is coming in, then their attention will be there. But if I have a
Yep.
teachable moment, those students will think this is for them. You were talking to that person. But
Hmm.
when you come in, I love that.
The kids were really excited too. I did a whole year with the fifth grade classes last year. And when are you coming back? Or is today the day? And then that's another way that they would connect with me.
Right.
It was a very effective tool all around. And I loved it. I mean, I didn't want to teach all day every day anymore, but I didn't want to not be teaching
Not,
ever.
I
So
know.
that's what I did for my PGO last year. It was great.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
mine is a PGO. It's
PG,
basically the
okay,
same as an SGO,
SGO.
but they call ours a PGO.
Okay, I knew that's what it had to be. Now I was thinking,
Yeah.
is that what we call it? No, okay.
That's the thing that you don't things that change when you switch your position. They change the first letters exactly the same as an SGO.
Right, right. So what's the P for? Pupil? It's
I
called
think it's
P
for I don't even know program growth objective.
project. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
since I
So,
don't have a class that I can focus on, I have to have a
oh,
program that I can do in classes.
and how is it growing? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So do you find that when you come and make those connections, I know we can take this so many different directions, but do you find when you make those connections with the students, how does that work with you and the teachers? Like, is that
Teachers are
strengthening
thrilled.
your relationship?
Teachers are thrilled
Hmm.
because they teachers need help. Y'all are doing everything. You're doing the most all day, every day. So some of my, particularly my first year or early career teachers, they are thrilled to get some support and some help. And I've made this statement. I'm not just the students dean. I'm the staff dean too. If I can support you, then that's what I'm going to do. So they're thrilled. They at first to them it was like, oh, I get this period off, but nobody ever leaves. They
No.
always stay and they always participate. They get to see their own students in a different light. It's not where's your homework. It's a different light. And we had so many since COVID. We have so many new staff members that they
Okay.
know my name and my title, but they weren't there when I was in the classroom, so they don't really know what I can do. So
Oh,
it has strengthened my relationship with a lot of people that just never got to see me in action before.
see, that proves we talked about this before, building connections.
Yes, it's
And
everything.
it's not just with the students. The students, you can see the positive outcomes from building a connect because they want to learn. They want to please you and make you
Right.
happy. Students love, like, I
Yes.
all day I'm getting letters and hearts and all this. They're cutting
They want to
because
make
they
their
want to
teachers
connect.
happy. Yes, they
Hmm.
do. They
They
want to
want to
make
give
you
you
happy.
some. Hmm. But because you said that, we talked about the connection with your peers and with your administration. But I would think that will make better connections with the teachers.
Yes, it really did. It really did. So I'm hoping to do something similar this year. I can't decide if I'm going to follow that same grade since I've already established it with them, or if I'm going to do the incoming fifth grade. I might see if I can do both. I'm feeling kind of ambitious.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll
Oh,
see.
because then you can see, and then they can, yeah, and then you'll see how they grew, and if
Yeah.
they have that information, they actually retain that information, and they're using it. You know. Oh, that's great. We do the SEL. We have videos that we play in the morning, then we discuss it as a class, and then
Hmm.
we have once a month, I think, the counselor comes in and discusses, you know, uh, the whole SEL, bullying, all of that.
Yeah, that's important too.
Yeah. I do you find the word bullying is coming up more than before?
Oh my goodness, it is. And again, we have to teach our children what that means. There's a difference between having a conflict and being bullied.
Hmm.
And we talk about that a lot because they drop that word in the middle. So so is bullying me. What do
Uh-huh.
you mean? Well, she we didn't like the same book. So she walked away. That's not bullying, honey.
Bullying.
That's not bullying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My granddaughter says that word to me all the time. She says I bully her. I, okay, whatever you say. Like somebody gave me a Starbucks gift card. I don't drink coffee, but she likes some kind of drink that they have there.
Hmm.
I never go to Starbucks. So I said, come back home. She started a new school. And then it's middle school. And middle school, and it's a great big school.
Yeah.
So she already had her friends, and then she knew these kids from before when she went to public school. So she's back in public school. So I said, "Who did you talk to today?" She said, "I didn't talk to anybody really," but she was trying to get to her classes. Like she was didn't have time to walk in the hallway with people. And
Right.
so okay, well, tomorrow you come home and you tell me who you talked to, what you talked about, if there was something good, and then you can have this Starbucks. You're bullying me. Forget it. I don't want it. No, I'm not bullying you. Because she didn't want me to give her an ultimatum. To her, that's bullying. But that word is everywhere. And
It really is.
uh
It is. And the thing is, though, and people don't get that that's a legal definition. Not you're having a bad day with a couple of people.
huh,
If you're putting that word out there, that launches a whole other kind of investigation.
I know.
Yeah. And now that's I will tell you what I had the most investigations for last year was cyberbullying. And
Oh,
not even that's folks on those doggone chat rooms,
uh-huh.
Snapchat, Discord, TikTok, you know, the social isolationism
Yeah.
and pushing kids away, and you look funny. She stared at me. Um, How do you know in a chat it might not even be the person you think it is? All
I
these people
know.
making fake profiles. Well, I don't like the way she looks at me. Well, if you're not looking at her, if you're
Yeah,
looking at the teacher and the work, how do you know she's looking at you?
yeah.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Parents need to take phones away. Oh,
Yeah,
you got a problem with somebody on Snapchat? I can solve that.
I know. Well, because we feel like our children have to have their phone, and that's how they're socializing today. So now, if they're somebody, as they say, bullying my child, the school has to do something about that. We that's the different parts of the body.
I had a peer mediation on the first day of school because the mother calls in and says, this girl has been bullying my daughter all summer. And I'm in my head going, so you let your daughter be bullied for 2 months and now you want me to wave my magic wand and make it stop? Why didn't you, as her mother, get to that child's mother and take care of this? Are you kidding me? It happened all summer. Your
Yeah,
child is miserable, doesn't want to come to school, and you're not doing anything about it till September? Are
to
you
September.
kidding me?
So things like this. This is the thing that I have in like my head for this podcast. We have to not even in here in school. I talk to my teachers, not say my teachers, my coworkers at work, and I talk about sometimes we have to pretend that we are all the help that student is getting, and that's going to change our whole perspective. Because if we're like the mom is not helping with the homework, they're taking homework home and coming back with it, not knowing how to do it. So what are we to do? That's what we talk about. We walking in that love and pretend the parent is not able to help. I say look at it like that. Parents
And
not able to help.
sometimes it's true.
And so what do you suggest for as a dean to a teacher coming in when the students start saying somebody's bullying me at home, or uh, even if it's in the classroom? Because I have parents come to me saying somebody is doing something to their child, and I'm like, for one thing, your child is not an angel, and I'm watching your child. Maybe they're getting back what giving back what your child gave to them.
Reaping what they sowed. Yes.
Uh-huh. So what do you say to a teacher? What do you say to a teacher that's coming to you, parents and students coming to you saying somebody's bullying you? How do you
Okay. So the first step is to get all the parties involved in a meeting. Let's all get together. I want the kid to say what needs to be said in front of their parents. I need the parents to hear it. I need the teacher to see the family dynamic, and you could tell in a minute the way parents and kids act.
right.
You can see whether or not they're getting the support they need at home. We have, of course, our school counselors. We have a free family therapy program where they go to the house if necessary. We've got an in-school group counseling situation. We offer them all the resources that we can. Um, I would say 8 times out of 10, the preliminary investigation, there's no bullying.
Yeah.
Our kids have lost or never really learned before pandemic the ability to socialize, to have conflict, get over it, and be friends again, or get over it and not be friends. They don't
Right.
understand. You're not going to be friends with everybody. And our school definition of a friend is, do your parents know this other child? Do your
Oh.
child know the parents? Do the parents know each other? Do you have each other's real phone number? Have you been to each other's houses? If
Uh-huh.
all of that's not happening, that's not a friend.
No,
That's
that's a
an
classmate.
acquaintance
Acquaintance, yeah.
or schoolmate. And it's okay. You're not going to get along with 600 kids in the building. I
No.
bet you can find 20 of them you can get along with. The other 580 you don't need to worry about.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Or
So
for that matter, some of these kids, I'm working with a girl, she's brand new. She doesn't know anybody. She sits at lunch by herself, and she says she's okay sitting at lunch by herself. Nobody is okay sitting in a cafeteria full of kids by themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe for a day, but not as a year-long thing.
No, no, no.
So I've got a couple of those that, I'll go over and say, would you like to sit with somebody else? Oh
Hmm.
no, I'm fine. Okay, I'm gonna let you do that twice. And then you're not coming to the table where I can find you some friends. I'm gonna send some friends over here. And you're gonna see the difference. I'm really proactive. I get in there. I sit and eat with the kids. Because my lunch period, my lunch is third period. I can't eat lunch at 10:30.
No,
So
yeah.
I sit down and I eat with the kids. Again, building that relationship,
Relationship.
um, that connection thing. And oh well, you know what? Hey, so and so, why don't you come over here and sit with us? I've got kids in the building that I've been friends with their parents for 30 years that I could pull them right in.
Uh-huh.
I've got cousins in the building. I can pull them right in. I've got kids whose parents I taught, so I'm friends with their grandparents. I call in my favors.
Okay, so you know what that sounds like? That sounds like Christ-like behavior. That's what I'm getting, right? Like the woman at the well, and
Yeah,
Jesus was talking to her, and she was like, "Who are you to talk to me?" And like she's so lowly, and he's like, "If you knew who you were talking to," but he was
right,
connecting with her, and he
right,
connected with her. He told her. She said she went back and told everybody. He told me all
right.
about
Told me
myself.
my whole life.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's what that's like. And when you said that, that's
Thank you. That's the best compliment I could get. I'm getting ready to cry.
but
I am getting ready to cry. I couldn't get a better compliment than that. Thank you.
I'm loving it because we have to have that Christ in us. That's walking with oil, educated with oil. You have to have that
Yes,
Christ-like behavior, all that fruit of the spirit. And there's no way we cannot connect with these students if we are walking in love. Every fruit of the spirit, the Bible tells us there's no sin against it. You
that's
can't,
right. That's right.
there's no sin against
That's right.
walking in love. There's no sin. What are the fruit of the spirit? I'm about to mess it up. Joy, peace, long suffering.
Faithfulness, goodness, meekness, temperance. It's all good.
You can't, nobody can
All
hold
good.
you, say she committed a crime because she was long suffering with that kid. Nobody, nobody can say that. Oh, she committed a crime. So we have about 10 minutes, and I'm loving it. I'm gonna have to call you back. But I am so, when I see it in action and everything you said, that to me that's Christ like.
Thank
And
you.
yeah,
And
you
and
can
and
say
no better compliment to my walk. Because that's the thing we have to realize. And I realized this a long time ago. I heard some pastor mention it, that in a lot of cases, we're the only Jesus that these people are going to see. They're not coming to church.
uh-huh.
They may not ever.
They may, right.
But if we're the only Jesus we're going to see, we better maximize the Jesus that they're looking at.
And you, oh, that's perfect. You know what? That's the basis for this podcast, to show us, to talk about, to have those discussions. What are we doing? Because our job, our purpose is to do the will of God and find what it is and do it.
That's
And
it.
okay, I'm a teacher. Okay, I'm a principal. I'm a dean. I'm a counselor. But how are we effective? Are we effective? We're effective by showing Christ-like behavior.
That's right.
And if I had somebody like you in my school, I would see it. Because just what you said, you know why I felt that, because my granddaughter, like I said, today's her third day of school, and she came home with a great report. Her friends that she had before, they all saved a seat for her at lunch, because 2 days she didn't sit with anybody, and the school was enormous. She got there late. She didn't eat the first 2 days because she got to lunch. It's too much. But then
Yeah.
her friends, they're at that age, sixth grade, where they're not talking and we're not talking, and hi, and she's sitting by herself. The table was full. They saved her a spot. And they all today, I don't know if she hears this, she's gonna say, she's telling my business, but they all today, there was 4 girls that she knew from different places. They all sat around. She didn't talk that much. They all sat around and said how they knew her. One
Hmm.
met her when she was 4, had a tea party. Another met her at Girl Scout brownies. Another matter, me and my granddaughter were out riding a bike, and we saw her, and then the girl wanted to catch up with her, and then her bike was small, so I offered my granddaughter's older bike. And so guess what? They were in the same class, but it was Zoom. They didn't even
Oh,
know each other.
right, right,
So my granddaughter was like, Isabella. And then she was like, yeah, but they could never connect at school because they were on the camera. And
right.
so now they all sit at lunch together. And it's
That's
just
great.
what you said is what they did and how it plays out. And you can
That's
see
great.
that's love to me.
Yes, yes. Love in action. That's why I remember we used to sing a song in church. We've got to put hands and legs on our faith. What good is it
Huh?
to just have it? It's got to reach somebody.
Huh?
Not doing, I mean, it's great. It got us saved, but now what?
Or we just congregating amongst ourselves and nobody's seeing what we're doing. Nobody's
Right.
seeing, it's just us. And
Yeah.
no, you're
No.
not here for that.
Because if that was the case, you'd go to heaven instantly. You get born again, you'd be out of here. We're here for a reason.
You have to be that light. And I'm thinking,
That's it.
I'm thankful, I'm grateful that you are in the school you're in, that you are there placed. I don't care what you say, you're placed in that position for that reason to be
Yeah.
salt. I mean, and
I
I'm
believe it.
glad that you're there.
I,
And
I I had a prophetic word one day. He said people should just come up to you and squeeze you so they could get some of that oil. So there's a woman in my church. Every time she sees me, she runs over and says, "I need some oil."
but I can see it. And just by what you said, because that's something that we need. I know
Yes.
I don't know how much time. I'm trying to see. I have a light behind me.
Seven
Um,
minutes.
how many?
Seven or six. Six
Okay.
minutes.
All right. So if you want somebody to reach you or not, you just you can recap really quickly where you're from, what school district, and oh, I know you from Members of Color. And if
Yes.
I wasn't a part of that, and that's a light in itself. I don't know if what Eric
Woo.
you said God sent. That's another
Oh,
God
he's walking
sent.
in his calling for sure.
Mhm. And he's doing it well.
Yes, he
So
is.
new NJEA Members of Color brought us
Woo
together.
woo.
Yeah. And so tell us your name one more time, where you're from, your
Okay.
title.
Valerie Johnson, Teaneck Public School District. I am the Dean of Students at the Thomas Jefferson Middle School, where I'm also a union rep, and I am the advisor to the STEPS Girls Mentoring Group. It's a leadership group to the TJ Ambassadors, which is a school-wide leadership group, to the Drama Club. You can tell I have a flair for the dramatic. Um, and I love my job. I love my kids. I love what I'm doing. I'm blessed, even on the hardest days. And there are a lot of those. I'm
Yeah,
thankful. I'm thankful for things like members of color during the quarantine. They kept me on the right side of sanity.
right, right.
I am thankful that you're in members of color, that you put this out there. When I saw it, I got so excited. I was like, a network for Christian educators? Yes, I want to be a part of that. That's
Yeah,
another thing. We've got to lock arms and get each other through. So
right.
thank you
And
for the encouragement of doing this. It's great.
thank you, and thank you for coming. And you're
Oh, my
welcome.
pleasure.
I'm just I talked about it before, but I wanted to do this and I didn't know how. I wanted to coach teachers and I wanted to do Bible study. My friend Shanae, who started it with me, I asked her to help me and she said, sure. And she helped me knit it together, put it together, help me with the platform. Now she's gone doing her own thing. She
Oh,
turned
you girl.
her resignation, but no, I'm glad she was there for that to help me.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm happy that God is doing this is my light. I mean, this is my strength.
Yeah. It's
I,
great.
this is my strength. I don't know you see it in my face, but
You can. You're glowing. You are, as the
it,
kids say, you are lit.
yeah. And so this is it. And so again, I was gonna say members of color. Uh, Educators with Oil. I'm Ronette Branham, my special guest, Valerie Johnson. And thank you for coming. And
Thank you for having me. It was great. You got
Like,
1 minute before they're gonna cut us off.
okay, like,
Maybe
share, and
maybe two.
subscribe. I actually got two. Oh, no. Okay. Like, share, and subscribe. And when I say share with your friends, other educators. Thank you and have a great day.